seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. It is Wednesday. It is October the 19th, and we're just getting ready for the end of fall, getting into fall, I guess. Everything fall, and then falling into winter. Winter's right around the corner, so we're looking into that. Yep. I guess that's a good opportunity to welcome our co-host, who has basically welcomed herself. Good morning, Nick. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm not
Good
ready for
morning.
winter, Aaron. Even though I do love winter, I'm not ready, but it's getting cold out there.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? It's something we live with, and then it makes us appreciate the mosquitoes more in the summer.
It's true. There's a funny meme that I saw, and it's like, now I know why I live in a place where the air hurts my face. Because in other parts of the world, there's like big spiders and killer spiders, where here, just the air hurts your face sometimes.
Yeah, and mosquitoes.
And mosquitoes are so annoying.
Yeah, they are the most annoying bug, I think, in the world, in the universe. Maybe I've never been to other planets, so I can't really say. But anyways, but we don't have them in the winter, so that is definitely a bonus. You can go outside, enjoy, I guess, which you can, enjoy the outside, be there without peskiness going on, other than freezing cold temperatures. But the winter does offer some nice days too, some really nice, mild, beautiful days. You can really enjoy it. If you're driving, I guess you just got to watch for the conditions and stuff. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is beautiful. It is stunning. It's the transition, right? The transition. People get sick. The weather's changing. It's shifting. The air pressure is changing. So it's easy to get sick at this time of year. I'm just getting off like a really bad cold that's been around for 3 weeks.
It is that kind of year, I know.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but it just seems since COVID, I said the word, so I guess maybe our video won't be shared as much as it might have been through algorithms and such. But anyways, since that, it seems that everyone's kind of afraid just to get normal sick that normally happens every year. Or they think everything they get is that. You know what I mean?
And it's not. And I remember people actually didn't get sick for almost 2 years. So, of course, that's going to have an effect on your immune system. You're not around other people. And this wasn't that bad of a cold. So,
yeah,
it's all good in the hood.
Well, I just want to say good morning to Miles, to Shane, and to David. And thank you, Miles and Shane, for letting me know that it's not Thursday.
What day are we?
It's Wednesday.
Oh, we're Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We got jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I have jiu-jitsu tonight.
Yeah. There you go. So that's a positive thing. If you are doing something cool, you didn't miss it, you still have it tonight. And then Miles is saying he's like, arachnids are the friendliest insects on the earth.
The spiders?
Yeah, because they help hunt other pesky
That's
insects.
true. They get those mosquitoes you hate so much.
There you go. Bats are good for that too, apparently. So don't be killing the bats all that much. And
I'm going to talk about it again. I have been super obsessed about jiu-jitsu. It is so fun, Aaron. I'm so all about trying something completely new. Even like the show, people sometimes don't watch the show. Just try something new. Some people will have opinions about something. Just go out there and try something new. In jiu-jitsu, it's Sudbury BJJ. Go check them out. And if you say that Nick Jervis sent you or influenced you to go get it, I get a t-shirt. And Aaron, I really want to get more t-shirts. It's just fun. And also, you know what it is, Aaron? I tell people that I'm going to get a t-shirt because then all of a sudden they're more likely to go try because they're like, okay, Nick, I'm going to try to get you a t-shirt. But I honestly want them to go and try this because I know they're going to love it. It's a lifelong skill. You're learning self-defense. I'm learning how to flip, and like yesterday I learned how to do the guillotine. So, choke people out. And you just never know. Like as a female, I started running. You just don't know your surroundings. And now with apps, everyone knows where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be dangerous. So you have to know how to protect yourself. And
Sure.
It's just such a cool skill. And it's local. So it's just fun. We have lots of cool stuff happening in Sudbury. We have lots of cool people in Sudbury. And I just think Aaron, it would be kind of cool if anybody's starting a new business to send us some information. We could talk about their business or release it to Sudbury and talk about it, maybe interview them because it's just cool to support local.
I love supporting local. There's no doubt about it. And good morning, Jerome. I want to see the comments because it's hard for me. All spiders are our friends. That's Jerome. And then Karen was saying about the colds and stuff like that. That she's had for the last 2.5 years, had that and colds, and don't want either again. And she'll be masking for the rest of her life. And so that's a lot of people, especially in China, have made that decision for the last 20 years or so because they've been kind of involved in the same type of thing longer than us. So,
well, I've been to China too. The air is extremely polluted.
Yeah.
Extremely polluted. So I could understand why you would want to mask yourself in China.
And she also takes oil of oregano pills, and that is pretty cool because oil of oregano can do wonders.
It is so good for you.
Yeah. Okay, lots of comments coming in here. I'm trying to get them. Listen to local CBC radio this morning, and Marcus interviewed the HSN CEO, Dominic Giroux. Wow.
Oh.
I bet you I know what he didn't ask him. I can guarantee you what he did not ask him. But anyways, let's see. Very interesting conversation. Did he ask him about the bankruptcy of Laurentian University and maybe what part he might have had to play in it? Do you think? Then now that he had him in an interview, I think no. I didn't listen to it because I wasn't traveling this morning, but I can almost guarantee that question did not come up. But if I was interviewing Dominic Giroux, I would love to just ask him that question respectfully, not disrespectfully, but I'd just say many people are wondering, Dominic, how did things look when you were there? Was it already on that path? Did you know anything about it? And I could guarantee you he would be very uncomfortable with it. Oh. But holy crap, like what is journalism, for crying out loud? I bet you he was just talking about the COVID numbers, that they're over the top and that they need 120 people and the government's not doing anything and they're understaffed. And he didn't mention the fact that they let, I don't even know how many people go because they didn't follow the mandates. They didn't mention that one bit. And in a story today I read, didn't mention that either. So they talked about the number of beds. Yeah. That's been the story for the last 50 years, I think.
It's always been the story.
Yeah. It's been before the pandemic too.
And they're twisting it. We never had enough beds before this all happened.
No.
And when they built this hospital, they built it so that we had more beds. So right there, we should have been holding someone accountable. The goal for this hospital was to have more space, more room, and more beds.
For sure.
And it cost the taxpayers a lot of money. And again, it was just a bunch of lies.
Oh, well, he did say the province was helping. So, because he's not a union guy because he's the CEO. So that's true. He would be more on the government side. The union would be more on the workers' side. And so that's the way unions and organizations work. If you're in management, you're not in the union. And if you're working there, you're in the union. So they're always trying to fight for each side. And each side goes further than they need to because it's politicized and whatever. So last 2 months, they recruited 800 workers and 200 nurses. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy lifting. That's a whole other hospital. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, let's just going to get on with just get the weather out of the way. I wish I could actually get the weather out of the way and get some nice sunny weather.
Oh, that would be so nice. While you're doing that, Aaron, I'll be sharing our live. So if you guys are watching, we love when people share, like, and subscribe.
Okay.
Because it really helps the show.
Awesome. You do that and I'll do this. We'll be back right after this weather. And as always, the weather is brought to you by sudburyweather.ca, where you can go to sudbury.news, and that shows that weather page there. And yes, I will definitely get to Jerome, your comment, as soon as we come back right after this weather here. I will not ignore it. But currently it's 1 degree. It's light rain and periods of snow today with a high of 2. So today, cloudy, 40% chance of rain showers early this morning, periods of snow beginning this morning, local snowfall in the amount of 2 centimeters. The wind will be coming out of the north, hence the snow, and it'll be light this morning. +2, UV index 1 or low. Tonight, periods of light snow, local amount again, 2 centimeters. The wind will be about 15 kilometers, so not windy at all. Low of -3. Tonight, the low will be -3 and wind chill will be -7. So we're into the minuses now. We've crossed the threshold, and -3 tonight. It'll feel like -7. Long range forecast. So again, periods of snow tomorrow, high of 3. Friday, cloudy, high of 11. Saturday, sunny, high of 14. And then, Saturday's sunny now. Okay. I like this. I like, the nicer weather is getting closer here, according to the forecast, because yesterday we didn't even have a mix of sun and cloud until Sunday. So it's looking like the forecast is calling for a little bit nicer weather on the weekend anyways. I can applaud that one. The way the cloud cover looks over northern Ontario, just a little view of the satellite there over the last, 12 hours or so. You see a lot of activity going on. The green is precipitation. And so there you go. There's the weather. We'll be back right after this with some headlines, maybe even a little bit of sports, because there is a bit of sports to cover today. So you never know. We'll be right back. Oh, there you go. I was just looking for it and I found it. And here it is. We got some Sudbury Wolves stuff to talk about. And I don't even think Nick would mind this at all, because it's the 50th anniversary, first of all, the Sudbury Wolves, which is exciting. I think this whole year being the 50th anniversary, there's just something to that. So it's kind of a year to celebrate, and anything that happens in the year, it's a little bit extra cool. So they're going to be
extra cool.
It's extra cool, yeah. So they're going to be doing something with Toppers here. The Sudbury Wolves and Toppers Pizza have partnered together to launch a fun new in-game promotion. Fans can play through their in-game interactive portal in the CHL/Sudbury Wolves app called, quote unquote, Make the Call. So if you look in the App Store for a CHL app, it's called Make the Call. And I guess each CHL team has their own section in there. So that way, prior to each game, fans can open up their app and make their prediction for 10 specific yes or no questions. See, this is kind of fun. This is what I like about sports, when it includes, some other aspect to it, that people can get involved. Fans will have to participate. Fans will have until the puck drops to make their choice. Each fan who correctly guesses each answer will receive up to 200 points per correct answer. Prizes will then be awarded as follows. Each fan who plays will receive a coupon for free Topper sticks with a minimum purchase just for playing. So you get some of those breadsticks just for playing. That's cool. The fans who have the most points at the end of the game will each win Sudbury Wolves golf shirt, which you would really appreciate, and $20 golf Toppers gift card.
Amazing.
See?
I can't have enough t-shirts, Aaron. I just love them t-shirts.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So the fan who has the most points at the end of each month will win a Sudbury Wolves jersey. Now
Ooh, that's an upgrade of a t-shirt, guys.
and those are not cheap, by the way.
No.
The fan who has the most points at the end of the season will win a trip for two to a Toronto Maple Leafs game.
Wow.
Hotel accommodations, and $350 cash for meals and gas. So sorry, all you Habs fans or Sens fans, you have to go see a Leafs game if you win.
Maybe they're going to be playing the Habs.
There you go. Now that would be cool because then they'd get the best of both worlds, no matter what. And poor Sens are always, left out. I feel bad for the Senators fans because you go to a Senators game, if they're playing the Canadiens or Toronto, there's always more fans from either team there. And it's just whatever. It is what it is. Okay, game leaderboards will be displayed at the end of each game, displaying the fan's unique ID name. So it won't give your name because I guess you probably don't want your name being promoted all over the place on the big screen. But anyways, your ID name. Monthly and at the end of the season leaderboards. They'll be posted on the Sudbury Wolves social media accounts as well. So fans can also, quote unquote, check in to win for a chance to be selected to shoot for $10,000 in the Carpenters Union Hockey Shootout Contest. Play the veto first goal prediction, play pop culture trivia during the second intermission, and much, much more. So these are all the things they're doing this year to make it more interactive and have a cool, experience at the Sudbury Wolves 50th anniversary season. The CHL app will be available on both Apple and Android devices. So that's what people have to look forward to. And the Wolves are playing this Friday out of town. The game will be broadcast on CKLU. We'll have more information about that tomorrow and Friday. And then we'll also cover their in-town game this Sunday. So you can see all of that on sudburywolves.com if you visit their website.
I haven't been to a game yet. I need to go to a game and participate in our local sports and our local events. I've never even seen a basketball game. Like, what am I doing?
No, yeah, you need to get out, support the local teams. And then there's other sports too, other than the Wolves and the Five. There's all kinds of real cool things. I watched tennis for the first time yesterday in a long time. It was Andreescu. She's the Canadian female tennis player who beat, what's her nose there? Williams, Serena Williams.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, just before she retired. I maybe got the name wrong. Probably. There's sisters, right? So I forget. There's two sisters, but
Which one it is?
Yeah, I know
That's
Miles.
a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was cool. Anyways, and then after that, so she beat the best tennis player in the world, and when she was only a teenager, and then since then has struggled a bit. But she looked really good in last night's match.
Amazing.
In Guadalajara, I think, is where they're playing. So anyways, we'll be back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay, we'll be back right after this with some headlines and some unpacking. Maybe some controversial stuff too. You never know. We have Nick on the show. So. All right, and yes, as promised, we are going to be unpacking headlines today, and there is an election coming up, which everybody is aware of, and so it's heating up. The 24th is right around the corner. Today's the 19th. I think 24th is Monday. I wonder if the online voting is going to go down this year like it did last time.
Right. I wonder. Something cool. I'm getting those little postcards there. They're going door to door and they're giving the postcards of the candidates in your local area.
Mm-hmm.
and I had one of Renee Lapierre, and it was in my door, and I opened the door, and it fell on the ground, and I kind of just left it on the ground just because I was like bag lady. I was holding all the things, and I just left it on the ground, and it stayed there all day and all night. And then the next day, there was a postcard from Evelyn Dutrisac, and that person grabbed Renee Lapierre's and Renee Dutrisac and put it nicely somewhere.
Really?
And it wasn't on the ground. And I was just like, I noticed that. Like, I noticed that they just didn't leave Renee Lapierre's on the ground and put theirs like, hey, check, this is why I'm here.
Yep.
Just those little acts right there makes a difference, and it changed my mood. I was like, oh, that was nice that you actually supported another candidate. They're not running against each other, but still.
Yep. No, it's true. I saw that too when I was down in Brampton last weekend, or this weekend that just passed, and they're having elections too, and every corner is just pummeled with all the signs from everybody.
Yeah.
It's even more than here. But anyways, yeah, so one guy was there putting his sign up, and I was like, I was thinking maybe I was going to catch him maybe putting another sign, to the side and putting his in the middle or something. But no, he just kind of, whatever spot was there, he just put his sign up. And yeah, I guess we have to be respectful to each other during these times. And yeah, your neighbor's not going to be voting necessarily for the same person that you're voting for. And maybe nor should they, right? So maybe you tried your best to convince them who to vote for, and they're not going to take your suggestion. And that's just the way that it goes. And that's what happens here in our elections. So it's not a bad thing.
Nope.
So yeah, a lot of comments. I just have to apologize that I won't be able to. I'm just going to get to the ones that are saying good morning. Good morning, Darren. Thanks for being with us. And good morning, Julia. I know a lot of we've had a big discussion going on, so pay attention to the comments. While we were doing the sports and the weather, a bunch of comments were coming in, and it's just too hard to go back to all of them. So starting with our first story of the day, here we have, your razors. Do you shave your legs at all?
You know what? I'm due to shave my legs, Aaron.
Okay.
You should see them right now. It's pretty bad, but I do shave my legs.
Good morning, Nicole. Yes, and it's good to know that you, I guess to some degree, I don't know, maybe it's just a social norm that girls feel they have to shave.
Well,
I don't know, but
I like my legs being soft as well.
Yeah.
I don't mind nice, soft legs,
Yeah.
So.
No, for sure. And when I used to shave more, like this is my pandemic protest beard, by the way, everyone. I never used to have a beard my whole life. And when the pandemic came, everyone was at home and whatever. I said, you know what? Who cares what I look like, for one? And I just let it. And I said, and I'm going to protest what I feel are the wrong measures to take care of what's going on out there. Because I do feel that's my opinion. I think there was a lot of wrong decisions made. And I can't fault them because I wasn't in their positions to make those decisions. And they made them. I don't have to agree with them. So I kind of did I go out and burn something down or get mad or shoot someone in the face? No, I just grew a beard. And I said, this is my protest beard of what people are doing. And I'm not going to shave it off until it's over with and things are kind of back on track to some degree. So I think I'm going to have this beard for the rest of my life.
I stopped wearing bras, Aaron. That's what I did. I
Out of
stopped wearing
protest?
bras. That was my protest. Wired bras. I just I just thought about it. A wire is like attracts electromagnetic energy.
Oh,
So
okay.
women are walking around with these wires under their breast.
Interesting. I wasn't aware of that.
And people are putting their phone in their bra. So there's even that charging this wire. And some people might be like, okay, that's a bit too far fetched. But to me, it kind of makes sense. So now I just wear like these kind of sports bras, and there's just
there is electromagnetic, and there's radiation that comes from our phones. That is not,
100%.
that's just true. And you can, you take those meters and you put them up to your phone, and it really goes nuts when especially when it rings or some activities going on it. It gets even worse. So there is. And how does that affect us? I guess the verdict is out. Scientists are studying that right now, and we'll know at some point. So yeah. So thanks, Miles, for the positive, the fact that he believes my beard is me now. And
Lise
Lise
agrees with me.
agrees with you for sure.
Yep.
And radio signals too. Yeah. Seriously? Or is it seriously or is it seriously? So I don't know. So not sure. I think it is. There's a lot of stuff coming. Yeah, radio. Like, the radios we listen to in our cars, they're all frequencies. I think, that's Miles alluding to. It's just constantly, it's like radio signal pollution in our air kind of thing, right? All these frequencies going on.
Well, there's tons of electromagnetic wave like pollution. If you look at how many computers we have, TVs, there's a Wi-Fi unit in your house, all that, like that's real. It's there.
Yep.
So it must have an effect on us, positive or negative.
Yep.
I'm going to go with probably negative because it's a man-made frequency. Anything that's man-made is usually not so good for us.
Frequencies, our brains, electro, whatever, in our bodies have frequencies. And so other frequencies do affect those frequencies. Right. How do they? Again, I think the verdict is out and you could study it and whatever, but we do know there is an effect. So we at least can say that with confidence. And here we have Natalie says, makes me think of a tune in Tokyo.
Is that a song?
I'm not sure. I am not sure. Tune in Tokyo, but could be.
So what's going on with these razors?
Yes, you can drop them off at the dump now. They have a special thing just for razors.
Why?
Instead of just throwing them in your garbage bag, and then they're like razors, right? So you put them in the dump, and they're the bags get sorted out, and there's these razors there, and they could affect the eagles that are there to eat or something.
Okay.
I don't know. They're just razors. So you don't want a bunch of sharp razors in ground if you can avoid it. And I think you could probably recycle them because there's a lot of metal in there. So I think it's a good idea myself.
I think so too. That's awesome.
Smile says he's never heard the tune in Tokyo. And Natalie says, no, it's about the wire in the bra comment. Okay. There you go.
Cool.
And they're actually...
All right.
Bird hazards. Biohazards. That's me trying to read. I'm on the bird theme. Eagles. Anyways, you go to the dump in Hanmer. There's actually a few bald eagles there. It's pretty incredible. Beautiful bird.
Yep. Just right in the trees every time you go.
Majestic as all get out. So, letter here at Sudbury.com. I want next city council term to be boring. CARP Chair John Lindsay says Greater Sudbury Council should put away its dreams and schemes and basically focus on core services. Love that.
Right.
So after 2 terms in Greater Sudbury City Council, marked by division and delusions of grandeur, focused on creating a legacy of big projects and millions of taxpayer debt, citizens, including many older adults, are hoping, because he sits on the chair for Older Adults Association, basically, kind of thing, CARP. So he's speaking for older adults, are hoping for a change to boring and a council getting back to basics and good governance and responsibility, which I cannot say a bad thing about, because that's exactly what I would hope for. But I would hope we could do both. I would hope we could.
I don't like boring. I like exciting, Aaron. I like moving. I like change. That's not boring.
Well, that's what I was saying. But boring in terms of nobody arguing and nothing getting done and all this drama going on, and then just going more and more in debt, and are still got potholes, and we still don't have legacy. We still don't have things being built. So you get nothing and a lot of arguing. You know what I mean? So that's what they're saying. Let's get back to basics. Right. Let's get things done. Let's do things properly, which I think a lot of candidates are asking for an audit of the city. And then some are saying, no, we don't need an audit. So the audit is beginning to be an election issue, I've noticed, between mayoral candidates, right? So I just wanted to share that because I do believe there is some wisdom in that, of going just back to making sure things are done properly. We'll get back to the politics in a bit, but I wanted to share a little bit about this worm story.
Okay.
Keep watch for invasive hammerhead worms, gardeners. The worm is coming your way to Ontario. An invasive hammerhead worm should be killed immediately on site because it's invasive. And Rebecca Morton of Toronto's Armor Pest Control told Blog TO, I guess, that while still uncommon, quote, they have been spotted in gardens through the GTA over the past few years. Whenever we have an invasion of insects that are non-native to our environment, we worry mostly about how it'll affect natural habitat. The biggest threat these snake-like insects pose is to earthworms, which are their preferred food source. Earthworms are integral to maintaining our soil health and biodiversity. Many gardeners will know
and they come from Asia.
Is that what you read?
Yeah, they're Asian.
There you go. Seems to be a trend.
How did they get here?
You got that
I know,
fish,
right?
that kind of carp fish or whatever. You got a bunch of different kinds of fish. Yep. We have those cattails, the property that are from China.
Did you know, speaking of worms, that Ontario is the only province, I believe, in Canada that allows people to fish with live bait?
We're the only ones that are allowed to?
Yes, most of the other provinces, they're fake bait, which makes sense because where do these worms come from? Where do these minnows come from? And then you're bringing them in these lakes, and it's changing the ecosystem.
Interesting. Yeah, if you're bringing in a live organism that not naturally from that area, and even if you're using it for bait and it gets off the whatever and it's still living and it starts to take up shop in that lake, you're right. It will change things. Well, this particular so it says the hammerhead worms can be identified by their hammer-shaped heads and reddish stripes. Good thing they're not poisonous worms too, I guess. But those which have turned up in Ontario also contain a tetrodotoxin, and a neurotoxin found in the pufferfish. Morton says the neurotoxin can irritate human skin if touched and makes pets sick if ingested. If seen, it's critical to catch them without contacting bare skin and killing them with salt, vinegar, or neem oil. Never heard of it. Then dispensing of them in a sealed container. Oh my goodness, these things are like getting rid of radioactive material. Interesting. So watch out for those worms.
Very
in your
interesting.
gardens.
And that's how you that's how you can protect yourself from witches as well, is putting salt in a circle around you, and then the witches can't affect you. So witches are biohazard. It's Halloween. It's kind of the theme, guys. Okay. And I just watched Hocus Pocus. So the worm is just funny how it's salt, but even bloodsuckers, you put salt on it and then they shrink up. So Pam says that they are native to Asia and Madagascar.
Yeah, I was just sharing Natalie's, I guess, kind of explaining the Tokyo saying or whatever for bras. So that makes sense.
Shane also says, take a shot every time Miranda says audit.
Yeah. Well, she's definitely out for the audit, and there's a few that aren't. So today we'll be talking about that. Did you know the Zamboni snow is a biohazard? Oh, I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Okay. Yeah. Razors are biohazards. Yep. And the worm does come from China. Yep. Native to Madagascar. Cool. Again, trying to keep up on the comments. Not always easy, but we're doing our best for keeping the conversation going with everyone. So, you know how the municipalities, they get together for these conferences, like all the mayors will get together and discuss whatever. So they're going to have the next one in Parry Sound.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool. It's getting a little closer to home. And I think Parry Sound is a beautiful place to kind of showcase, Northern Ontario, central Northern Ontario.
Before we finish talking about these worms, Pam has a interesting theory. She says the food crisis of summer 2023 will be blamed on these worms affecting the earth and making animals sick.
And not the fact that Justin Trudeau told all farmers they can't use the same amount of fertilizer. They can only use half the fertilizer they normally use. It will not be that. Just like the health.
You have to bring it down by 80%.
Yeah. The fertilizer?
Yeah.
I thought it was 50. So they can only use 20% of what they were using before?
That's what one farmer told me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's craziness. Well, because it affects climate, right? So you need to starve. Sure. You need to starve because the less people on the planet, then the climate will be better for whatever else is here after us.
It's mind-blowing to me how many people actually believe that cows are the problem of climate change.
Yeah, because there is a theory there, and there's enough people, PhDs.
Not the jet that they're using. Not Trudeau's jet that he's using weekly.
No.
To tell us about this climate change problem.
No, not Al Gore's jet that he takes to go explain the problem to everybody.
Not the fact that you're using way more energy to create those batteries for those electric cars. Like the amount of fuel that you need to build those electric cars and those batteries is actually more toxic than just using a gas-fueled vehicle.
And then what are you going to use to charge the batteries once they're made?
Exactly.
Fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Or other fuel other than green energy. Because you can't produce enough.
No.
And I also thought when you go to the gas station right now and you gas your car up, it takes what? 5 minutes?
Not even?
How long does it take to charge up a car?
Oh, an hour?
Probably more than that. To full capacity. So let's say you're on a trip somewhere. You just need your battery's low. You gotta wait. You gotta have enough time to sit there for like hours while your battery charges.
And then you have to wait till if other cars are there.
Yeah.
You're waiting in a lineup.
Crazy.
But anyway.
I don't know. It's to me, yeah. So Miles is saying, I'm just trying to get, so audits. So adult children play.
They play on the ice and body fluids go there when they play.
So that's about the snow. So that's about the snow situation. Now we have a comment coming in from YouTube, which I hope I can read. We live on a completely tropical planet. The ice caps are synthetic from the last giant deep freeze, which was caused by a celestial body 1/3 the size of our planet. Oh, I can appreciate that.
That's cool.
Hey, that theory is just as good as any other theory, according to what I'm concerned, because they're all theories. I love university because they teach it as if it's fact, but they're all theories. And you can't prove any of them. They're all theories. So, hey, we'll take that theory as well. Okay, so probably takes 2 hours to charge a car. Yeah. So can you imagine being on a trip and having to wait 2 hours at a gas station or a charging station, I guess is what it would be called? Okay. Yeah.
So
a little bit against, the kind of decision makers of complying with government. Don't understand why they would. Yeah, everyone's going to be complying. There's not going to be any choices coming up pretty soon. Beginning to think the Amish and the Mennonites are onto something. Not just old-fashioned, but actually earth-friendly living. No, it's true. They're very sustained. Their lifestyle is extremely sustainable.
Yeah. They also weren't really affected by the virus, it looks like. That's weird.
Certain
probably
news.
because they didn't have TV.
I shared a meme like that one time, but it was said in the news, I think in Manitoba or something, they said that one of the places was. So
sure.
I'll just have to say that, right? It's because it was in the news, but I think that was the only place or the only time it was in the news. Okay. So Julie is saying, bring lunch. Oh yeah, for charging your car up. So getting back to this whole idea of audits or not. So Don Gravel, who's running, he also thinks that having consultants go through an audit would be a waste of time.
Wow.
waste of money. So you have Don Gravel and you have Paul Lefebvre both saying they don't believe audits should be done, which to me should be a huge red flag, but I'll just say that. I'm running for mayor of Greater Sudbury. Well, we do know that. After reading an article in one of our local media sources, I decided that change is needed in our city. This article was saying how our mayor and council spent hundreds of thousands of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars on consultants and did not even listen to them, which is true, which is dumb. The whole thing is dumb. I don't refute that. I've since come to find out that consultants have made millions off the city in the last 8 years. The money could have been put towards roads, helping the homeless get off the streets and back into society, cleaning up the downtown, or even pay down the debt. As you can likely guess, getting specifics on exactly how much has been spent is not an easy task. I love this. As you can likely guess, getting specifics on exactly how much has been spent is not an easy task. Why wouldn't it be? So
why isn't it simple?
If you're a small business, which maybe you are, and you got to do your taxes at the end of the year, you know how much money you spent because it's in your financials. It's not hard to get that information on how much money is spent. I love that. How the heck is that true? As you can likely guess, getting specifics on exactly how much has been spent is not an easy task. I have not been successful in trying to obtain this information. Sure, I can take a freedom of information request. No, he's saying how hard it is to get the information, which I agree. So sorry if I came off as I was putting down a statement, because he goes on to say, getting the information is almost impossible for people like us. I can get the freedom of information request and wait for months and spend a lot of money getting copies of those files. However, the election is too close and time is not on my side. In addition to fleeting time, I've sent Mayor Brian Bigger an email requesting that information, but have not yet received a response. As mayor and council, we are entrusted to make these decisions. One thing is crystal clear to me, though, is that we should not be wasting our tax dollars in this manner. I don't know what he's saying. He's not saying he's going to do an audit, though, or he's not going to do an audit. He just said he's not going to be wasting lots of money on consultants. So I don't know.
I agree, but sometimes I think even consultants could be corrupted, and the city, the people that they choose, that can be all corrupted. So, and every time they go out for bid, the prices are just ridiculous. You know, I mean, everyone knows government pays top dollar for everything. So we need to shop around for consultants who actually care about the city, who aren't going to charge, $200 an hour to do this work. But I don't think it's a waste of time if we find proper consultants to do the work at a reasonable price with reasonable timeline.
Well, what I also
hold
said,
them accountable and hold our city accountable and make sure that we see the numbers.
Yep, definitely, Jerome. I always question, there's no doubt about it. Always question authority, always question assumptions. But Julia seems to think that consulting is a waste of money also for an audit. I don't think she feels we need to do an audit of the city's finances. I think that was her comment yesterday. I could be wrong. Can't find a local accountant for an audit? Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I was saying yesterday, couldn't we find even a volunteer?
I think many people would want to volunteer.
I know. And it wouldn't cost the city anything. I'm sure many of us would want to do that. The city doesn't want us to know how much it's spending. The city doesn't want us to know where money's going, where it's been going. The city doesn't want us to know, just like the city didn't want to know all the particulars about the bankruptcy of Laurentian University, or Laurentian didn't want anyone to know, and all those involved. And is there ever going to be any kind of real, accountability there? I don't think so. The former, CEO of Laurentian was interviewed on CBC radio this morning and wasn't even asked about it. That goes to show you how things are dealt with here. Duterzak, builders are frustrated. City needs to open for business, she says, which is true. A lot of them are saying that, but I want to know how. That's the thing.
Yeah, she
how
says,
do we do that?
She says, during the mayoral campaign, I am meeting with many residents and developers who are frustrated. Economic growth continues to be bogged down by red tape in City Hall. I know exactly all about this, and this is so true. So
Yep.
frustrating. Excessive regulations and unnecessary bureaucracy results in increased costs and administrative burdens for residents of Greater Sudbury business community. On one hand, we stress the urgent need for housing development and increase our tax base, and then we erect roadblocks that discourage and prevent builders and developers from accomplishing that need. It's so
Yeah.
true.
And it is
Big
true.
problem.
She makes a really, really, really good point there. And she's been in council before, so she knows, she's been around the block, and she definitely knows a thing or two about that. And so we just hope for change is all we're hoping for.
Yeah.
We hope that it will. You know, just kind of skipping
I like
through
it.
some of these. So Miranda, who's a guest on our show a little while back, sent out her kind of press release that things are kind of, the last leg of the journey. It's been an exciting few months as we make it through the last week of the campaign. Her campaign has been grassroots, and there is a desire for change in transparent leadership on the part of the mayor. Citizens no longer want the same status quo as we've been seeing in the past. We've clearly gathered from citizens that there's a need to be for fundamental and profound change in the spending habits of the city, how we treat each other, how we recruit, retain, and conduct business. There's no current distinction between needs and wants for the city. The wants should not even be on the table until the needs and the realities of our infrastructure deficit are addressed. So she's saying the same thing as that first story we covered about, let's get the basics done. Let's not, let's take care of the things that need to be taken care of. And then let's look at fiscally responsibly for these bigger projects and make sure that they actually make sense financially.
Yeah.
I run my campaign consistently with how I will seek the city's operations. Sorry, I've run my campaign consistently with how I will seek to have the city's operations run. She basically says she'll run it like a business. She hasn't done photo ops and, been the politician kind of thing. She's just basically been saying specifically what she's going to do, how she will be in office. So, in an attempt to work with local businesses who have struggled in the past few years, her team has planned meet and greets, and these events created opportunities to connect with citizens and encourage people to support local business. So basically, she's getting together with people, and that's the way she feels she would also be as mayor, just kind of interact with people. And she's a big advocate for an audit in the city as well. Because I do. That's my personal belief. We need to look at how money has been spent, if it's been, where it's been going, has it been going to things that, it shouldn't have been? But I'm sure there's people. Go ahead.
Doesn't the city do their own income tax? Don't they have to submit some income tax to the government? Is that even a thing? Because I know I have to do a full evaluation of my business. I need to know exactly how much I'm spending, where are my expenses, and I have to submit this to the government. So if the city, who is part of the government, who is its own business, who's paying taxes, who has revenue coming in and out, you would think that they would have to do this kind of bookkeeping and that they would have a document of exactly where all their money is and where it's going.
Paul Lefebvre is a tax lawyer by profession.
Yeah, I don't get a good vibe from Paul Lefebvre.
So he's the front runner. There's no doubt about it.
And he'll know how to move money around, hide money, change
kind of
documents.
Yeah. So he knows all the ins and outs of that, and he doesn't want an audit.
Right.
He does not want it. So what does that tell you? If you don't want to show people where money's been going, what does that say?
There's no transparency. What are you hiding?
Yeah. Why? So if it's your money, why can't you just say where it's going? We should be able to go on the website and say the city spent this much on that, this much on this, blah, blah, blah. And it's there. Once they spend it and it's done, there you can go to a section on the website and everything is there. How much we spend on everything, all the plans. It's that's what politics is supposed to be in a democracy.
We do not need another politician as mayor. We need an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs think outside the box and actually get stuff done. Seriously, Aaron, no offense to politicians, but what have they actually accomplished in their life? Like, have they actually done? And this might be a bit arrogant statement, but I don't know. They sit around a lot and don't do a lot. I don't know. It's just very frustrating. Politicians just really bug me, and I don't really like them. That's not really true, but.
Yeah. So Pam has an interesting comment. She's always curious if the government stopped taking taxes and instead citizens just donated X amount of dollars to an agency of their choice. And those agencies would then, kind of do the work kind of thing.
Right.
Getting taxpayers to choose where their money is important to go, which I've also thought of, Pam. It's kind of like the toll road idea. When you use a road, to get on that road, you have to pay a certain amount of money, and that money goes to that road. And it goes to that road. And so if you want to pay for a certain type of service or whatever, you donate to that. And you notice if there's not enough donations or whatever in that. But this is what I also want to say. No matter where you are or what you're doing on this planet, there's always going to be corruption where there's money.
Yeah.
There's millions and millions of dollars. The city budget is almost $900 million a year. 900 million. So it's almost $1 billion a year.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. There's a lot of temptations there. So there's a lot of people that have agendas and things. And like you said, consultants. Maybe my brother-in-law is a consultant. Maybe the city needs a report on something. So maybe I can get my brother-in-law a consulting gig making.
Which is a complete conflict of interest. And that should not be allowed.
For sure. So, will HSN management question be addressed? Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if I saw that, Jerome. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get through all the comments. I really do apologize.
Eventually, Aaron, you're not going to be able to do all the comments on the show.
You know what? I'm not.
Get so popular that they're just going to have to, and that's okay.
Yeah, I guess it is. I know I've seen other people that I watch that aren't able to get to all the comments, but I do want to do my best. At least show them on the screen and do that. So thanks everyone for listening today. I mean, it's been a slice. There's a lot more to talk about. Tomorrow we'll continue the conversation. There's an election coming up. We definitely want the best results for our city. We want the people in there who are going to represent us the best. We'd hope that there's not just someone who's in there for their own interest or for the money. Really? Come on. Like, is there someone who just wants to serve the people and not want to do, the bidding of some big corporation or other government interests or, can we just have real people for once who actually have real sincere intents to want to kind of serve the city, serve us, serve themselves, and make the city a place for them and for their kids and grandkids.
Our future.
Like really, come on. Let's just maybe everybody, maybe there are candidates out there and maybe we can find them, maybe we can vote them in, and maybe even with a few days left, that type of thing can happen. That's my hope. That's my prayer. I'm hoping for that. And so it's all I can do is do what I can do. And this show is a way to kind of at least have the discussion and maybe dig in. And there's not enough time. We could probably have an 8-hour show and we'd have to talk about every councillor's platform, every mayor's candidate's platform, and have them come on and interview them all and really get to the bottom of things. Not enough time, and we're all volunteers here. But we're doing what we can. And I'd like to thank you, Nick, for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully you can come back real soon.
Yep.
And thank you for commenting, and I apologize for not getting to everyone's comments. But stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow on Sudbury News Talk, right here on CKLU, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Bye, everyone. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.